With us now is Republican Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Governor Romney says he never paid less than 13%. The president says prove it. Should Governor Romney be forced to release his tax returns? Should he release them?
This whole issue is completely ridiculous. I talk to voters of my state. They don't care about this. What they care about is their own taxes and, most importantly, what it means to jobs in our state. What I want to hear about from Governor Romney, and what I have heard about from Governor Romney, I want to hear from the president. What are you going to do to turn things around? I mean, the Obama-Biden campaign wants to talk about this all day, because they don't want voters in states like mine to look at their failed record. 42 consecutive months of unemployment at or above 8%. Looking at a candidate who 4 years ago said debt at $4 trillion was unpatriotic, and he's added more than $5 trillion to that. Saying years ago he was going to cut the deficit in half by the end of his first term. He's nowhere near that. Of course the Obama campaign wants to talk about this. Voters in our state want to hear what you're going to do to turn things around. And only Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan really have a substantive plan to do that for small businesses and put people back to work. That's what voters want to hear about.
Governor Walker, Wisconsin is certainly considered a key state. How much of a difference do you think your friend Paul Ryan will make, especially since he hasn't run statewide?
Well, you look at the 1st Congressional District, where I grew up in a small town. Paul's district is bookended by Janesville, where he lives, and Kenosha, two working-class, blue-collar communities. I grew up in a small rural area in the middle, and he's got a little bit of suburban Milwaukee County. In that district, when he first ran, it was almost evenly split. He has not won an election by less than 60% since then. In a state that in 2000 and 2004 was decided by just a few thousand votes, adding a few thousand voters that traditionally in the past have voted for Bill Clinton, voted 4 years ago for Barack Obama. Those are people who voted many times for Paul Ryan before. Could be the difference. And I think for a lot of voters in our state and across America who thought 4 years ago they were getting Bill Clinton, they're now realizing they made a mistake. The economy's not any better. The budget certainly isn't balanced as it was under Bill Clinton. It's time to acknowledge we made a mistake and put forward a new team, a comeback team, and that's what you get with Romney and Ryan.
What can you tell us about him as a person? I understand that 5 minutes after he made his speech in Virginia, that your phone rang and it was Paul Ryan on the line. True?
Yeah, Paul's, just set aside the politics. Paul's one of the brightest, most courageous people I know in politics, but he's also one of the most decent people. Paul and I grew up not too far from each other. We were both flipping hamburgers back in the 80s as kids in high school. And the funny part about that is his manager back then said he didn't have the interpersonal skills to work the front cash register, so he had to flip burgers in the past. Obviously, that guy's popping himself on the head and wondering what he was thinking back then. But Paul's just a good, decent person. I think that's why he does so well in a district that's so evenly divided. I think the more people get to know him, the more they're going to love him and realize he'll be a great vice president.
Governor Scott Walker. Thanks, Governor.